Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're going to unpack a skill that is literally constantly hiding in plain sight. We spend so much time talking about how to speak better, how to present effectively, or how to pitch a big idea. But today, we're going completely the other direction. We're going to uncover the profound benefits of listening more than speaking. So if you're looking to improve communication skills, strengthen your relationships, and just find more success overall, you are exactly in the right place. We're diving into the superpower of silence. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll start with hearing versus active listening, then explore the core personal benefits, look at the professional leadership edge, and finally go over some common mistakes and daily practice. Let's jump right in. All right, Section 1, hearing versus active listening. So there's a really stark contrast between these two states. Simply hearing is, well, it's basically just a biological function, right? It's the passive processing of words, your default setting. It's hearing the traffic outside or hearing a colleague talking at you while you're kind of absent-mindedly checking your emails. But active listening, that is a totally different ballgame. It's a conscious, engaged choice. It requires focused attention, genuine empathy, and a deep, deep drive for real understanding. When you actively listen, you aren't just waiting around for your turn to speak. You're entirely present. You're leaning in. You're decoding the message. It's kind of like the difference between having a movie playing in the background while you endlessly scroll on your phone versus sitting in a theater totally engrossed in the plot. Moving on to Section 2, the core personal benefits. Active listening acts exactly like a sponge for your brain. By truly paying attention, you don't just hear the raw instructions being thrown at you, you actually grasp the complex ideas and the emotions behind them. And this pause, it allows you to consider totally different perspectives before you just reflexively respond. Plus, it feeds right into your ability to learn. Think about it. When your mouth is closed, your mind is open. You absorb new knowledge so much easier. You pick up on fresh insights you absolutely would have missed otherwise. And you drastically cut down on those painful, time-consuming misunderstandings we've all had to deal with. Basically, it turns you into a lifelong learner. But hey, it goes way beyond just facts and learning. Active listening is literally the absolute foundation for stronger relationships. Just think about the last time someone truly, deeply listened to you. They didn't glance down at their phone. They don't look past your shoulder to see who else is walking into the room. They gave you their undivided attention. That signals such immense mutual respect and deep empathy. It makes you feel completely valued. And that is exactly the immense power you hold when you choose to really listen in both your personal and your professional relationships. And the psychology behind this is just fascinating. As this quote perfectly sums up, listening creates stronger human connections because it validates the speaker's experience. When you actively listen to someone, you aren't just swapping data back and forth. You are essentially looking at them and saying, you matter. Your thoughts and your feelings have value. This kind of psychological validation completely bridges the gap between two people. It creates a much stronger, incredibly authentic human connection. Really, it's an exchange of humanity. All right, let's head into Section 3, the professional leadership edge. Look, we've all worked with frequent interrupters, right? In a professional setting, people who constantly cut others off cause immediate friction. And it's usually because they're too busy formulating their next brilliant sentence to even hear yours. They end up missing crucial information, and ultimately they damage trust with their entire team. But on the flip side, good listeners naturally rise to the top. They cultivate real trust, becoming trusted friends, and they are almost universally viewed as highly effective managers and incredibly successful negotiators. Why? Because they actually hold the complete picture in their head before they ever make a move. By patiently gathering that complete information and actively welcoming diverse viewpoints, active listeners naturally reduce their professional mistakes. Because let's be real, you simply cannot solve a complex problem if you only hear half of the context. Bringing in all that data means you solve problems more effectively and you make much wiser, well-rounded decisions. Ultimately, these are the exact traits that elevate individuals into highly respected leaders and influential communicators, setting them up for massive long-term success. Influence isn't always about being the loudest voice in the room. Honestly, more often than not, it's about having the most attentive ear. And that brings us to Section 4, mistakes and daily practice. Let's get practical for a second and look at some everyday listening mistakes, along with some really actionable fixes you can try out right away. First big mistake, interrupting the speaker. The fix, force yourself to wait for a full, definitive pause before you even open your mouth. Just let the silence breathe for a second to ensure they've actually finished their thought. Second mistake, only hearing the literal words. Say a colleague tells you they are fine with a deadline, but their arms are tightly crossed and they're frowning. The fix here is to pay attention to those underlying emotions and always lead with empathy. And the third, and yeah, probably the most common mistake of all, is formulating your reply in your head while the other person is still speaking. We are all guilty of this one, right? The fix is to consciously catch yourself. Stop drafting your rebuttal and refocus entirely on understanding their perspective first.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take away this one core idea. Listening is not some passive background skill. It is a dynamic, highly active superpower. By embracing the real benefits of listening more than speaking, you're going to inherently improve your communication skills, deepen your relationships, and boost your success across the board. When you listen more than you speak, you are giving yourself a massive, undeniable advantage in life.
So, I want to leave you with this final challenge. In your very next conversation, whether you're just grabbing a quick coffee with a friend or you're sitting in a high-stakes meeting at work, will you fall back into simply hearing the noise, or are you going to activate your superpower and truly, deeply listen? Give it a try today and just watch how it transforms your world. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.